بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
So now the next thing, if you talk about the Cisco different hierarchical models, the comparing models, there are plenty of Cisco models you'll find. So it's not just one model, I can say. There are plenty of models you'll find on Cisco. If you go to the Cisco website, just to understand, because these things will keep on updating. So every time you want to go and check, you go and search with Cisco compare models or Cisco switches. You go to the official Cisco website, or you can just go to the cisco.com as well directly. If you're good enough in locating the website, you can directly log into the cisco.com, where you can go to the product and services. And inside the product and services, you'll find the different features or different options what the Cisco switches will offer you. Okay, so Cisco into many things like networking, security, collaboration. Collaboration is more about IP, voice and the video conferences, computing, full stack. There are different options. The mainly we will be focusing on the networking part. So I'm going to select a networking or network. In that, again, there is access the different types of networking. Again, cloud, network security, and all these options. WAN. When you talk about WAN, it's more about routing. And the main section, what we'll be seeing here is the switches. So let's go to the switches. So when I click on switches, you will see switches on the power. These are all marketing terms. You can see different models. And if you come down, you will see some overview of, you can watch this video. And this is just a kind of a diagram where you can see how the switches looks. Every switch is different, how it looks. And if you scroll down, you'll find the switches for every network. Means, again, it's a kind of a heading marketing term. Now here you'll find the different categories. So Cisco offers variety of switches designed for different purposes and different environments. So if you compare these models, you will find there is something called access, core, distribution, data center, industrial, small business, network management. These are all options. Each option is going to be slightly different. The main category, like if I say the main classification, we generally do this in three layers. Like we call them as access level switches or access layer switches, or distribution level switches, and the core level switches. These are the main three level categories. So access level switches are typically referred to the low end series switches, and then slightly the medium end and very high end switches. Just like if you take different processors you have from Intel processor, you'll have different processors. You have a Celeron processor for home office applications, and you have i5, i7, i3, these kind of processors for high computing, not very high, but for some kind of. And again, you have a Xeon Itanium processors from Intel. I don't know, still they have, but the different processing capabilities for different requirements. The same thing applicable for switches as well. It's not possible to, have one common switch for all the requirements. So here also we have access, distribution, and the core. Now, if you try to understand, access switches are typically connecting to the edge of the network, connecting to the end devices. Like if I just simply draw the topology here, let's say this is my access switch, which is connecting to the edge devices, mostly your PCs or printer, end devices, we know, like printer or IP camera, or any other devices, server, all those devices. So typically they connect to the edge, and you might be using more than one switch, because when we talk about enterprise networks, we are not just dealing with one single switch. You might have multiple switches connected. And majority of these switches also connects to IP phone. So which means they are also capable of power over Ethernet, which means providing the power supply for IP phones or any other wireless access points. So they mainly focus on delivering the connectivity to the network. At the same time, they do provide some security features for the end users. So we call them as access level switches. We can say. Now coming to the distribution level. Now distribution level switches are the intermediate between the core and access. Intermediate means typically they don't connect to the end devices most of the time. Like, let's say if I try to draw a simple hierarchical model of any organizational network, we generally have the access level switches. I'm going to draw very small just to accommodate all the things. Connecting all your end devices. These are all the blue ones are my access level switches. And additionally, what we do now, the number of access switches, it will vary depending upon the number of devices you want to connect. So if I assume there are around 200 plus devices, and each device provide me somewhere around 24 ports, roughly I'm taking around 8 to 10 switches, let's say. Okay, I can draw only 6 here. I'm going to do that, but roughly it's like that. Okay. Now you will not go with all the core switches or the distribution switches. Now what I'll do is I'm going to use some distribution level switch. Now this one is your distribution level switch, and diagrammatically we draw like this. This is how diagrammatically we represent. And your normal switches, access switches or L2 switches, we draw like this. Okay. Now these core distribution level switches or the switches, they don't connect to the end devices most of the time. And typically we don't use just one switch, okay? Because if you use just one switch, if that switch fails. Now let me explain what this distribution will do. It will mainly do the layer 3 job, layer 3 routing job. Basically, layer 3 routing or connecting to the service pod from where you get the internet access or do some kind of routing. Again, I'll come back to the hierarchical model once we cover up some switching concepts like VLANs, trunking, inter-VLAN routing. When you cover up all these concepts, you'll get a more clear picture. Okay, I'm just trying to show you where exactly these devices will fit. So if you go back to the hierarchy here, you will see these are my access level switches, which connects to end devices here. And then they connect to the distribution level, which are slightly high-end devices. Now you will see there is no single switch. There are always two switches because redundancy is important. Now, what is the meaning of redundancy? If any one switch fails, let's say this switch fails, still the user connecting on this switch can still go from this device and talk to the rest of the network or go to the internet. So any one switch or any one link goes down, that's not going to be a failure for the network. Okay, of course, the access switches goes down. That's not a big problem. Okay, so mostly the distribution level will be connecting your access distribution network. You can say like this is a separate building. So you got a campus network, and this is a building 1, building 2, building 3. Like that, you have probably connecting like this. So each building will have an access and the distribution level. Something like this. Okay. So you'll use not just one switch, you will make sure that you connect. Connectivity, I'm not getting into that right now because as we move on, when we talk about spanning tree and other things, we will try to understand more on that. Mostly there will be connections as well. So most of the designs, let's say in my company, I just have one building, just around 200 plus devices. You don't need a core level switch. You can just manage everything with maybe 10 access switches and distribution level switch. But let's say if you have another building, maybe a campus network where you have a similar structure of design in another building as well as another building. Now, what we do is for high-speed transfers, we also use code switches. We will be using some code switches as well here. Now, again, we don't use one single switch because if you use one single switch, that will be a single point of failure. And this distribution goes and connects to the core level switches. The core level is basically the backbone of your network, which provides connectivity to multiple different networks around. Okay. So this is the hierarchy. So what is the difference between these three categories of the switches? The access level switches typically connect to the end devices. Distribution switches typically connect to the access level, and which majorly does the routing and other things. And the core level switches are typically the backbone of your network, the backbone, especially in a bigger networks, facilitating the high speed transmission rates, because the end users will not connect to the backbone, will not connect to the core or distribution. So they all connect to the access. Access in turn connects to the distribution. And if you have more and more bigger networks, you connect them everything back to the core. So mainly the core is responsible for handling large amount of traffics, especially providing fast and reliable communication between the different buildings or different networks. So any network, when we talk about the hierarchy, we talk about these three categories. So the core, distribution, basically the access, distribution, and the core. Now, similar way, you'll also find the other options, like you will see core and distribution. Now, core and distribution is sometimes you will see some models comes under both the categories. They come under the core or distribution. That's the reason there is a combined option. Basically, the core switches are the backbone of your network, connecting to different access switches. And likewise, apart from that, you also see there is something called data center and the cloud switches. Now, these switches are specially designed to operate inside the data centers. Like I said, we have a Nexus specific model switches, the Nexus switches, which are used in the data centers, supporting some virtualized and cloud storage kind of requirements, which are more common inside the data center. So these switches have, they do support very high speed transfer rates, at the same time very low latency, and there is a many kind of virtualized concepts like VXLAN and everything it supports on that. Nexus, MDS, these models comes under this category. Now, apart from that, you also see some industrial Ethernet switches. Now, industrial Ethernet switches are the switches which are typically used in an industrial environment. Like especially if you see any industrial environment where you have a very hard, the industrial environment, it's a different environment where you have plenty of manufacturing plants, and there are many other things, harsh conditions, we can say, where you have extreme temperatures, or there are a lot of vibrations, and electromagnetic interference is also very high. Now, in that scenarios, Cisco designed a specific model to support these kind of industrial settings. So if you want to set up a specific network in this kind of environments, that's where the industrial Ethernet switches comes into picture. Now, more or less, these are same. The small, medium, LAN, compact, these are typically the switches designed for small office, home office networks. So if you're trying to set up a very simple, small business network, very small network typically, which is for limited resources you want to utilize with less number of ports. You don't need very high speed ports. At the same time, you want some basic features to implement for switching concepts. You have this category, like you'll see this 1300, 1200. These are typically the low end series models. And also you'll find some network management switches. This is one special category of a switch. Typically, this network management is more about managing your network. Like the network management switches are commonly used as a centralized management. It is mainly for centralized management and monitoring of the network, which means, let's say, you want to support some kind of so basically what they offer you is they'll provide you some kind of graphical interface, some management features it supports, from where you can manage multiple switches with a simple dashboard. So there is something called Cisco Catalyst Center, and this Cisco Catalyst Center, you can manage the multiple Cisco switches from a single place. It's more kind of management and monitoring of your switches, like by monitoring the bandwidth utilization, or monitoring the CPU utilization, or monitoring the connectivity, all those options. You can verify from a single dashboard, and that's what these specific softwares we can say. It's not specifically a switch. It's actually a management software which can be installed on any of the servers or any of the devices. And that's a slightly different feature set, we can say. So the main category is this. That's what most of the enterprise companies goes with. This is more on the data center, which required some virtualized and the cloud features supported and some other categories. So the main thing you need to understand here is the different characteristics of each model or each variations, we can say. And depending upon the category, with like each category will have different features based on different requirements. And additionally, Cisco will be continuously doing some updates in the products. So you need to always check the Cisco website to figure out the latest models. Let's say in my company, I'm using, let's say, Cisco Catalyst 3750 switch. But you may not see that listed here because that's kind of the old switch. You need to always check the Cisco website for that. It doesn't mean that they don't support. They do support the features. But if you want to integrate some new features, you need to always check the models and the data sheets of each category of the switches.